to come in. So welcome to the last event of Data Privacy Week. It has been a very
Yes.
busy week for us, Barry. This is
Mm-hmm.
my fourth event this week, and I know there were
Wow.
others that people are on. People are really interested in data privacy. It's a very,
It's
really
important.
important topic, and we're glad to see people coming in.
Yeah, that's
Usually we're
great.
talking about cybersecurity, and a lot of people kind of see this intersection, of course, between
Mm-hmm.
cybersecurity and data.
Goes hand in hand, folks.
So that's definitely what we're up against. So really quick, so if you just joined me, there are links in the chat that I'm dropping in over and over so that you can use that to join the game if you want to play on your web browser. If you like to play on your mobile device, which is a great way to follow along, you can scan the QR code and that'll get you into the
Mhm.
game as well. We'll be throwing out questions and you'll be answering them on your own in the platform. So no questions answered in the chat or the Q&A. It's all going to be on your own. Right now, I'm going to introduce Arjun. He is from our sponsor company this week, and he'll go ahead and just have a few things to say about what they do, and then we'll go right back into the game. So, Arjun, if you don't mind, just kick it off really quick.
Yeah, really appreciate the time and space. We've been super excited about working with you all this week and chance to talk about all things security and privacy. But a quick introduction, my name is Arjun. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cloaked. We're a security and privacy company focused on putting people in control of the data and their identity. A little bit about us. We try to think about how do we clean up your past and protect the future. And how do we accomplish that? We do it by first helping you identify and see how bad the problem is, from seeing your data footprint, where information is being sold, where it's been compromised, and starting to actually act on it. Start cleaning that data footprint from websites, brokers, places you've been exposed, and then starting to move that. How do we now solve this problem going forward? Well, really cool, exciting part about Cloaked, we actually can protect your identity by creating a new, unique version of you everywhere you go. We do that by our all-in-one password manager, where we can create brand new email addresses, phone numbers, soon credit cards, passwords for every website or even person you're interacting with. So you can imagine unique email, phone number, password for Uber, unique email, phone number, password for Amazon, phone number for cute guy at the bar, unique email for every realtor. It's not a throwaway or burner, but real working data for every single website. So that way, if it's compromised, stolen, it doesn't affect you. And I totally recommend it for your bank accounts, your sensitive accounts, and it's all protected with your personal key. That way, nobody has access to your data, including ourselves. So that's us, and we'd love for you to check it out. And we have one little fun demo for the audience here. If you want to see how bad your problem is, try calling our public number. It's 855-752-5625. And I'll repeat, 855-752-5625. It is a scan on your phone number telling you where information's been exposed, what's being exposed, including things like your social security number. And it's scary to find out the same data you give out to both the IRS, you give out to Domino's, can reveal your name, address, social security, your family's information, all from just a single data point. So that's us. Feel free to visit us at cloak.com, and you can always give me a shout out if you'd like, and happy to talk to you directly.
Awesome. Thanks, Arjun. I
Thank you.
appreciate your support this week. If you want, you can feel free to put it in the chat, that number you mentioned or your website. I got a few people
Cool.
asking about it, so feel free to do that. But that's awesome. So thank you so much once again. And everybody that's on the call, we will go ahead and start explaining this game show and how this is going to work. So my name is Cliff Steinhauer. I'm the Director of Information Security and Engagement here at the National Cybersecurity Alliance. So I'm going to be your main show reader. The questions and answers are going to be read by me. And then my colleague, Barry Itel, he is my counterpart over in New York City. He helped write the questions and he'll help provide some context and talk about some of these as well. So Barry, you want to go ahead and introduce people to what this is going to look like?
Yeah, so all the questions are either true or false or multiple choice, and you get 30 seconds to answer them. The faster you answer, the more points you get, but you also want to make sure that you're reading all the answers because we get a little tricky. So don't blame us, and you can only answer once. You can't change your answer, unfortunately. Yeah, Cliff will read the questions, but you don't have to wait till we're done reading. You can get answer right away. Um, yeah, we're gonna really go over data privacy. So hopefully a lot of people they spent the whole week, learning, thinking about their data, thinking about protecting their data. And now we're really gonna push it to the limit with this game show, and we're gonna have a great time. I don't think there's prizes, just bragging rights.
Yeah.
I'm responding to a question there, but
Yep. If
yeah, I
you'd like
don't.
to take home your trophy, feel free to take a screenshot. You
Yes,
can
yeah.
put it on your
And we can all
LinkedIn
cheer
and
for you. Yeah, there's a
celebrate.
little yeah.
But yeah, no, we're not actually doing
Put
any
it on your
prizes today.
wall.
It's just for fun. So have a good
Yeah.
time with us. Sit back and relax and answer some questions. So I can see we have 193 people on the call. We have 130 of you are
Ooh.
registered for the game. So once again, the way to get into the game, if you want to
Mhm.
play with your mobile device, you can use your camera and scan the QR code and then just put in a nickname. You'll be ready to go. If you want to click on the links in the chat, I can put that in one more time for you. So if you go look at the chat feature, you'll see there are some links there. I also reposted Arjun's information there too, so you can see that. And we will go ahead and give this a 30-second countdown timer. So as
Uh-oh.
Barry mentioned, you will have 30 seconds to answer all the questions. There are 17 total questions right now. So I will go ahead and get this going for us. So we're going to do the sound effects on the presentation view so you all can hear some of the bings and bongs that we have set up for you. And the first
Just
question is kind
imagine
of a
like a
practice
gong
question.
rang.
Yeah, that's right. I know we missed the gong, didn't we?
That's all right.
But we have the first question here lined up for you. So go ahead and jump on into the CrowdPer platform. We use this
Yes.
extensively during Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
It's
So
a warm-up question, so it's not like make or break, but you want to let's warm up those fingers, figure out how to play the game.
there you
It's gonna
go.
be fun.
So this first question is just which organization launched Data Privacy Day in 2007? Was it the National Cybersecurity Alliance? Was it Google, the Council of Europe, or Skynet? Holy cow,
Yeah.
Skynet. That's
Like
a throw.
just like there was less data out in the internet back in 2007, we only had a day for it. Now we have a whole week.
Yeah, we need a whole week
I'm
now to
sure
talk
someone's
about what's
cooking
going
up a
on.
data privacy month. It's
There
like
you
their
go.
dream.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see here. So 80% of you guessed answer
Wow.
A, which is the
Maybe we
correct
should give them some
answer.
points for that, for the respect.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was NCA back in 2007. We decided that there was a need for
Oh, wait, no, I got this wrong. No, it should be Council of Europe.
wait, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We didn't launch it. We launched Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Oh, what? I'm making this up, Barry. What happened?
Uh-oh. I hope
Steering me
our
wrong.
upload didn't
So it was the
mess
council.
up.
Oh, God, I hope all the rest of the questions are right. Well, this is going to be
Uh-oh.
really interesting. So,
I'll pull up my backup just so we can do this on the fly.
holy cow. All right. Well, it was the Council of Europe back in
Yeah.
2007. I learned something new today and I'm really
hmm
embarrassed.
We
All
would
right, here
love
we
to
go.
take credit
So
for it.
Larissa got that one right. That's only 5 points. That should have been worth
Yeah.
way more points than that. So that was our warm-up question. 157 of you are in here out of 199 on the call. So you can join anytime. Just use that QR code or the link in the chat. And with that, we'll go to question number 2. So question number 2 is, which is an example of privacy by design? Is it never collecting social security numbers? Is it building privacy features into products from the beginning? Is it social media marketing, or is it adding privacy settings when users complain? I
Now,
think
this
I
is a
have this one
topic.
correct, Barry.
Yeah, I know the right answer, so we'll see. This is a topic that definitely, like, if you're a manufacturer, hopefully you're aware of, but also consumers should know about it because it's your data that we're trying to keep private.
Exactly. So, yeah, definitely a concept that we see mirrored in cybersecurity sometimes. Talk about secure by design, but privacy by design is, in fact, I'm guessing answer B is right, Barry?
It is correct, yes.
Perfect. So then, yeah, building privacy features into products from the beginning is the concept we're looking for here. So if you're a developer, if you're a builder, thinking about like, I mean, collecting social security numbers might be an aspect of privacy by design, whether you choose what data you choose to collect is essentially one of those things. But not only that, but how you protect it as well. All right, so there we have Larissa using that momentum from the first question to jump into the lead and remain there. And we have Nicola and NCADPW. Somebody put in their
I
username
know.
as the game code, which happens sometimes. So that's a good way to keep yourself anonymous and private.
Maybe they're
We're
just
gonna
a
go to,
fan of the National Cybersecurity Alliance and Data Privacy Week.
that's right, that's why we're here. So hopefully there's some people here who have been on our webinars throughout the rest of the week. So if you were, you might know the answer to this one. So question number 3, true or false? Data privacy laws are the same worldwide because of the United Nations. Is that
Hmm.
true or false? So are all privacy laws the same?
I mean,
Uh,
it would be nice if there was like a standard out there, but is there?
right. It would be I don't know that the entire world is aligned on anything, are we?
Yeah, I know.
Still debating a lot of that stuff. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. So we got here, let's see what everybody thought. 97% said
Wow.
false, which
Yeah.
is the correct answer. So of course, data privacy laws vary by country, and even in the United States, they vary by state, which we've been talking about a lot this week. So let's see. Nicola took the lead from Larissa, and then we
It's
have
close.
NCADPW still running out in the top 3. There's a lot more to come, so do stay tuned. 165 players on the game. There's about 35 of you that could be playing along, but that's okay. If you just want to watch, we'll let you. We're going to go ahead with question number 4. So, which of these is a type of personally identifiable information? So, which of these would be considered PII? Would that be the population of your hometown? How many people watch your favorite Netflix show, your driver's license number, or the total number of Facebook users?
Yeah. This is an acronym. I feel like they're really trying to make it something that most people know, but I think it's kind of a hard one to but it's just basically means what's like information data that can identify you.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of different regulations that define what constitutes personally identifiable
Mhm.
information, but I'm pretty sure your driver's license number would indisputably
Yeah.
identify you as one unique person. Some other things that could identify you might be your phone number
Yep.
or your email address,
Your social security number.
your full name and date of birth.
Yes.
So some of those types of PII are more
Even
sensitive than
I
others.
was trying to when I'm crafting this one, I was like, is a family member personal? I think it is technically, and your relation to another person. It's a gray area. That's PII.
Yeah, usually it's a single piece of data, but there are a lot of incidental, anecdotal pieces of information that can be pieced together to form your unique
Yeah.
identity as well. So certain laws actually do say that, like your IP address combined with your browsing history is PII. So that's an interesting thing to think about too. So it's all quite complicated. That's why we need a whole week to talk about it. All right, we got Nicola, NCADPW, and Laura. So the same top 3. We got a tie now
I
for
know this is
second
really
place.
close.
So we're going to go to question number 5. And just so you know, we'll go through a Q&A at the end after the game is over. So if you have questions, do feel free to put them into the Q&A and we'll check all that once the game is over. So with question number 5, so true or false, turning off cookies can limit how much data websites can collect about you. So cookies on or off. If they are off, can they track less information about you?
Yeah, cookies and data. I mean, we love cookies. I feel like we're always being asked, turn on cookies, reject all cookies.
Hmm.
What do we recommend if you can if someone's saying to allow all cookies or reject cookies?
Well, there are different varying degrees of cookies that are
Yeah.
beneficial and not beneficial, right? Generally, advertising and tracking cookies are the type that will track your activity across the internet versus, certain cookies might like save your login or they might save your history on a site and things like that. So some of it's okay. It's kind of up to us to, fortunately, up to us to look into what they mean. There are a lot of browser settings that you can mess with though that will help you decide which cookies you want to accept. Sometimes you have to accept necessary cookies for sites, but you can also reject the ones that aren't necessary. All right, so 86% of you said it was true that if you turn off cookies, it can limit how much data the websites collect about you. That is true. A lot of data is collected via cookies on websites. But a lot of websites now are also required to allow you to opt out of certain cookies. So that's another thing you can look at. All right.
Oh, man.
The top three are
And
really
like the top
key
10, they're all,
to
it's a close
this.
game.
That's right.
We got some real data privacy like experts.
Yes, we have a lot of, like I said, a lot of interest in this topic. So I'm not
Mhm.
surprised to see some really good scores here because I imagine some folks are here from other webinars throughout the week. All right, so for question number 6, what does it mean to opt out? So what does opt out mean in data privacy? So is it meaning that you choose what data to share with an organization? You refuse consent from an organization to use your data? You wish to pay for data encryption, or you allow limited data collection on your phone?
Yeah, we just kind of talked about opt out with cookies,
Yeah,
which I guess
cookies are
is
one type of data you
connected.
can opt out of
Hmm.
sharing, right?
Yeah. And it's mind-boggling to think of the billions of data points they collect even just after a short amount of web surfing.
Hmm. And don't be fooled, there are definitely technologies out there that can still track your information even without cookies.
Mhm.
So a lot of that is already being collected. So opting out means that you're refusing to consent an organization to use your data or you're revoking that consent.
Mhm.
So opt out can happen sometimes during the permissions process, or you can go back in and opt out later, especially if you think about things like marketing emails, like unsubscribing and things like that. We got Regis, who has
Wow.
launched into first place. They were there kind of hovering around that fourth and fifth spot, but now they've taken over.
Got it fast. See, it's a game about speed.
And we have the capitalized NCADPW has taken over third place. The lowercase dropped off the leaderboard. So let's keep it going. We're on to question number 7. So this one is a true or false question. So true or false, signing up for loyalty programs usually involves sharing your personal data. Is that true or false? We
Yeah,
talked
say
about this
you're
on a webinar on Monday, Barry.
oh yeah, like when you're surfing, going to a website, you're trying to read like a recipe or something, and boom, it stops your scroll. We love when that happens. It says sign up for, I guess not a recipe, but you're shopping for something. It says sign up for a loyalty program. Put in your email and get 5% off. Does that usually involve sharing your personal data?
Yeah, the example that we talked about on Monday was buying coffee at a coffee shop.
Hmm.
And then before it asks you to tip the barista for doing next to nothing, it says, hey, would you like to earn rewards and get a free
Hmm.
coffee after you've bought 37 coffees from us? Just put in your email. So that
Yep.
was the example we used. And that's, of course, you have to share your personal data. That's how they track it, right?
Yep.
How else are they going to know
Like
it's
grocery
you?
stores.
So absolutely, you are going to have to usually give up some personal data. So what we talked about in that call, though, was where does that data go and who gets to have
Mhm.
access to it?
I know. Do you
I
ever see
think
the little checkbox that says share your data with like third party
right.
partners?
Well, as part of like, there's like you put your email in, and then very tiny below that, it's like review our privacy policy by clicking next you agree to all our privacy policies, which
Mhm.
of course you're standing at register waiting in line for
Yeah.
coffee. Nobody's going to read that privacy policy. But in that privacy policy, you've got third-party data sharing happening. And so I doubt that even the barista or the company that's offering the loyalty program even knows that happens because a lot of times it comes through their POS systems. So you're
Mhm.
thinking of like Toast and Square and like these companies that you tap the credit card on there or Clover. They're selling that data, they're making money off of it, and but that's part of the business agreement they have with the coffee shop. So anyway, more to come on all of that, but we got Regis, Nicola, and Capital in CADPW still in the top 3 after that one because 97% of you did get that correct. So we're going to go ahead to question number 8. So what is the goal of data anonymization? Data anonymization, that is a very long word.
Mhm.
Is it to reduce the file size of the data set? Is it to encrypt the data set during transmission? Is it to make personal data set more specific? Or is it to remove PII from a data set? This sounds very technical, Barry.
Yeah. Remember PII from a earlier question. You might hear about data anonymization a bit here and there. A lot of times when like a big, say, Facebook or some other big company publishes studies, they're like, well, this was anonymized data, meaning that they said that they removed your personal identifying information from it.
Right. Right. So you're kind of getting at like this behavioral marketing and how they sell ads and
Mhm.
things. And so they anonymize the data,
Yes.
meaning the marketing company doesn't get your name or your PII, but they do get you and everybody who clicked on the same picture as you did. That group of data gets submitted to the ad company, for
And
example.
then what's kind of a little spooky is as you collect data points, even if like it's anonymous, but as you collect data points about a person's activities, you become less anonymous.
That's right. They can
You can like
actually
start
start
putting
to
them
collect
together to make a
things like
profile.
exactly like regional and then
Mhm.
historical and all the kind of things. It's all very interesting. I just finished reading 1984 a couple weeks
Oh
ago,
wow.
Barry, and I
Yeah.
just cannot stop thinking about it. It's like
Oh yeah.
just crazy how this is all happening. A book written in the 30s
Yeah.
predicting what's happening now 90 years later. So anyway, so we have Regis, we have Nicola, we have Larissa now back in the top three, a tie for second and a tie for, wait, what was that? It's like 25th. Anyway, here we go. Question number 8. So true or false, apps must always ask permission before accessing your microphone or camera on most new devices. Is that true or false? So that's when you're maybe installing Instagram for the first time.
Yeah. Or you click on the little camera icon in an app and it pops up and says, hey, do we have your permission to take photos? Do we have permission to use your microphone, maybe if you're using Zoom or
Hmm.
something like that. Do
Mhm.
most new devices, your latest iPhones, do they require those app makers to actually ask permission, is what we're asking about.
Oh, let's see, Barry. I'm not actually
Or
sure.
are they doing it out of the goodness of their hearts because they have so much respect for our data and privacy?
Well, you tell us, Barry. It looks like the answer was marked true. Is that right?
It's true, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys. Barry wrote these questions, so sometimes I'm like doubting myself. If I'm like, is this a trick question? Because he can get kind of tricky
Yeah,
sometimes.
a little tricky.
So is there a
No, but
law that says that they have to do that, or are they doing it
it's
out
not
of
a
goodness of
law,
their
but
hearts?
I'm assuming that like Android and iPhone and Samsung, they're thinking more about their customers complaining to them as opposed to the apps complaining. But yeah, a lot new older device. If you go back years, it's not as wasn't as required, but now yeah, a lot of the new
Yeah, I did know that.
phones require you. Yeah.
I know Apple requires it. I didn't know that
Mhm.
Android or Google actually required it too.
Yeah.
So, all right, here
Maybe I
we go.
shouldn't say
So,
Android. I think it's like Samsung.
okay, still have had tie for second place. They're both
Wow.
getting these
Wow.
97.
97.
Somebody got 99 points on that one. That is a really fast. They were like just waiting for that answer to pop up and then they hit it. So good for you. Fast internet connection and fast fingers. All right, we're going to go ahead to question number 10. So what is a data point that a web cookie
Hmm.
usually collects? So what does this cookie actually do? Does it collect your password, your browsing history, your phone contacts, or your cache purchases? I didn't know you could use cache on the internet.
Yeah, well,
Little
so
a
might
little
might not be D. Hint, hint.
little a little like a vending machine where you put the dollar in on your
Yes, yeah, I know.
computer and it
Maybe that
spits
is
it
the
back
D.
out because it's too
Yeah.
wrinkly.
Um, yeah, it's funny. I think actually a lot of chain stores they can actually track your purchases through your debit and credit card, so you don't even have to join a loyalty
That's
uh
right.
club, and they can actually know what you're buying
Yep. Yep. Which is kind of crazy. I don't think they
unless
can
you're paying
store the
cash.
actual card number, but they can say like this transaction happened on this card and we have this transaction ID and
Mhm.
links to that card, right? Yeah, I've experienced that. I lose my receipt and they're like, "Oh, no problems.
Right
Tap
up
in your
by the
credit
card.
card and we'll look up your purchase." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
And hey,
Excellent.
let's serve you an ad for something related.
Right. Well, I just hate when they follow for a review for something I bought in a store. It's like, I
Yes,
don't
yeah.
want to review this.
Never. I've never done it.
All right, so we got 93% of our folks said your browsing history is what is collected by web cookies. That's true. It's also cookies can collect, your information about your operating system and about your browser, like the version of the browser that you're using and things like that, which can be helpful for marketers to help them design better web pages that are more compatible. But there are also ways to kind of log activity about you without actually taking your personally identifiable information. So again, just more data about their users that doesn't qualify for usually data protection laws. All right, Regis with 92 points. That's a fast
Wow.
responder right there. All right, so we got Regis, Larissa, and Nicholas. Still some familiar names in those top three. I'm just waiting for this toss-up question, Barry. I know you've got one buried in here somewhere, but maybe it's this one. Maybe it's question number 11. So true or false? Phone metadata contains no personal information. Is that true or
Ooh,
false? So
hey,
metadata. What's metadata?
I feel like this was probably back in the news a lot. This was, I don't know, what are we talking about, like 15 years ago, where metadata, it's a little different. It's like data of data. And the question is, does this data include like identifying information about you?
Yeah. So let's see. What did we say? We have majority of folks said B, false. Correct answer, B, false.
That's correct.
All right. Yeah.
It
So
can
metadata.
include but it can include, so it's basically the data of a phone call. So it could include stuff like a location, a date, or a time that you made the phone call.
And then does it include like your phone number and the phone number that you called?
I don't know. That's where it's not the data.
Okay.
That's where it's metadata, I believe. So if someone else knows, put it in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. All right. So location, dates, and times. Yeah. So if the location is like your house at 5 p.m., then, that's kind of like personal information that you were at home at
And like,
5
oh, hey, there's a lot of calls from this number from this house,
p.m.
and you're starting to put some data together.
True. Okay. All right. Still a lot of very high answers here. We got a good connection today. All right. We're going to keep moving with question number 12. So what is the General Data Protection Regulation? What is the GDPR? Is it a US law that regulates financial data? Is it a European law that governs data privacy? Is it a guide for encrypting personal data? Or is it a tool for tracking online activity? I
The
imagine if you're on this call, you've probably heard of GDPR before.
mhm. I know, like no matter where you are in the world, I think if you use the internet, you've probably heard of GDPR. It's probably popped up in a pop-up, even if you didn't read it. That acronym's probably come across your desk.
Yes. All right, here we go. So 66% of you said that it
Okay.
is a European law that governs data privacy. That is indeed the correct
Mhm.
answer. So the GDPR came out in 2016,
They're like 2018
17.
or yeah, something like that.
I think it went into effect in 2018, something like that.
Mhm.
So it's relatively new, and it is kind of becoming a driver, if you will, of worldwide data privacy
Yeah, because
practices
it's
because
pretty hard
any
to cordon off like who's visiting your website, like building separate websites for separate regions. It's kind of a
right.
pain.
We just say kind of like we might as well comply with
Yeah.
GDPR so that if a European citizen comes and visits our site,
Mhm.
we won't get in trouble.
Says,
So
oh
it
la
has
la.
driven up the data privacy practices of a lot of the world. So it's actually really great to see that. Um, And so it gives people the option to, opt out of collection. And I think part of it too is that people actually have to consciously opt in to have their data collected rather than opting out, which is a more of a difficult process for people and nudges people not to do it. So interesting thing there. Hopefully we'll see more of that around the world. I think that it's kind of trending in that direction
Mhm.
from what the discussions I have had this week, it does seem to be going that way, if albeit a bit slowly. All right, so question number 13, true or false? A data retention policy outlines how long a company will store your data. Is that true or false?
Yeah, this is I think if you read if you ever read the terms of service of something, you might come across a data retention policy. I don't think most of us read, well, actually probably a lot of people on this call read the terms of service. But if you ever are and you should, now you know what a data retention policy is, or you will soon.
Right. So data retention policy, companies will write something like we will store this web browsing cookie data from our customers for 30 days, for example. And then to comply with that policy, they actually have to go back and delete that old data. And so sometimes we see evidence of this in old data breaches where really old data gets stolen that should have been deleted. So, it's important to not only have a policy, but to have a process to enforce the policy. So 96% of you said it is indeed true. That is how long a company will store your data.
So
And
it's
that
kind of a cybersecurity question too.
it is a bit of a cybersecurity question. This is once again where the Venn diagram starts
Yeah.
to overlap. So part of an information security policy would include a data privacy, or sorry, a data retention policy. Another key component of that would be a data definition policy. So what type of data? How do we classify it? How do we protect it? How do we ensure its confidentiality? All those kinds of things. All right, so we got Regis, another 99-point response. I mean,
Wow.
that is, I don't even know if I could do that on my own quiz, that's kind of crazy. So looking good though. Everybody's gotten really great scores here. I'm really happy to see the participation. We have 177 of you playing along with us, which is fantastic. So we're going to go to question 14. So what is the right to be forgotten? So some language I have seen in some new privacy laws. So what does this mean? Does it mean the right to request a visit from the men in black? Ooh. The right to ask organizations to delete your personal data, the right to delete your Instagram, or the right to forget your ex. I think I need the men in black to come help me forget my ex and then tell me how to
Yeah.
delete my Instagram.
Do you have a right to delete your Instagram, or is that like maybe that'll be a mandated thing
Well,
soon?
the way things are going, and after reading that book, 1984, I don't know. I feel like it's inescapable to be on
As long as they don't
social
make me
media.
post stories. I've never posted a story.
Yeah, right.
I'm
I
behind
know.
the times. I'm
My
just on
wife's always like, "Did you see
grid.
that
I'm all
story from
grid.
my sister?" I'm like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
like
I'll watch the stories.
All right, so 99% of you, after my nudging, got that the right to ask organizations to delete your personal data. So the right to be forgotten. This is a concept that we're seeing in certain states like California, where residents of California, due to the California Consumer Privacy Act, the CCPA,
Nice.
organizations have to give Californians the right to be forgotten, the ability to ask the organization to delete their data.
I
So
think
right
that
now,
is kind of based on the GDPR, but I mean,
it may be, yes, I think part of that is based
at
on
least
the
inspired
GDPR.
by it.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So we got Regis, we got
Oh
Nicola, we
boy.
got Jenny. We lost
I
DPW
mean,
today.
if Regis gets one wrong and someone else gets the tables could turn.
It is
So
super
stay
close. Yeah,
in line.
there's only 100 points per question. So if somebody's internet freezes up for a minute, I don't know. All right, so here we go. So true or false?
Ooh.
Text messages are encrypted. Is that true or false? Are text messages encrypted?
Hopefully people know about encryption more and more and are thinking like, oh, this is a good thing. But is your standard text message encrypted by default?
Hmm.
We were talking about this a lot in the past couple of months regarding the that hack of our telecom infrastructure because there was new guidance about how to protect your messages.
Right. There was some great concern over the past month about that, and the guidance from the FBI was to use encrypted messaging apps, meaning
Mhm.
text messages are, of course, not an encrypted form of communication. So if somebody was able to intercept your text messages, they would come through and clear text or readable text, just be right there. So 89% of you already knew that, which is
But
good
if you're
to
using
know.
iMessage to another iMessage user, that's encrypted. Same
Mhm.
thing for Google Message. Is it called Google Message? I think it is. But only to the, but if you're talking to each other, if you're
Yeah,
texting with an Android thing, that's not encrypted.
that's right. So is RCS is a newer format. I think it is encrypted.
RCS, I think, just refers to like the idea that it is newer and it means that you can text, but it doesn't have
Okay,
anything to do with encryption as far as I know.
I see.
So like if you're texting someone, if you're an iPhone user, you're texting an Android user, as opposed like you can now do a little emoji with their text. But now we're saying take that message onto an encrypted app.
Hold on, I'm asking Google if it's encrypted. I don't think it is. I think it just, yeah, you're like you said, it gives you the ability. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as they're sent through Google Messages, which is not the same thing. So, okay, perfect. So we're going to go ahead with question 16. Second to last question. We're almost done here. Then we'll get some questions from the audience. So
Not going to
what,
cybersecurity question.
so what cybersecurity behavior can help protect your data? Is it keeping your software updated, turning on multi-factor authentication for every account, having long, unique, and complex passwords, or D, all of the above could help increase the protection of your data? So here we go again, cybersecurity.
I hope everyone on this call celebrates Cybersecurity Awareness Month in October. If you haven't heard of it, this October, mark your calendars. We talk about 4 main behaviors. I left one off the list of this one, but come back in October to find out what it is.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So 81% of you said that all of these will help protect your data. That is true, of course. So definitely keeping your software updated, keeping those vulnerabilities in check, turning on MFA, and having long, unique, and complex passwords. Those will all help protect the data in all of your accounts and your organizations
behavior
as
is
well.
identifying and reporting phishing attempts, which also protects your data.
Absolutely. All right, so we're on to the final question with Regis, Nicola, and Jenny in the lead. The last question here is, how do you feel about protecting your data now? So I think I should say, do you feel better? I'm going to change that really quick. Do you feel better?
Yes, please.
Hold
on
on.
the fly.
Do you feel better? Because the answers don't make sense otherwise. All right, let's see. There we go. Fixed it. Do you feel better
Nice.
protecting your data now? After taking this quiz, of course, is what we mean. Is that a yes? Is it a no? Is it an unsure? Or is it an I feel worse? No matter what you answer here, it's going to be the correct answer.
Yes.
We're giving you 1 point just for answering this one.
That's a close game. It might be an important point.
Yeah, I don't know if we were 1 point off, but some people might be in their rankings.
Maybe in the
Could bring you
rankings.
from number 9 to number 10 potentially, or vice versa. So let's see here. We have 93% of you saying that you do feel better, which is fantastic. And if you don't feel better, then we're going to go through the Q&A, and I'll also share where you can find our recordings from throughout the week. So with that, that's our final question. We're going to go ahead and finish the game and reveal our top 3 winners. Get ready to screenshot if you're ready to take a picture. So Jenny,
screenshot Jenny H.
3rd place. Congratulations. That's a bronze trophy for 3rd. We've got Nicola L with 13.99 is a silver trophy for 2nd, and the winner, 1st place, Regis. 1,411 points, looking good. Amazing. Nice job there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Data Privacy Week Game Show champion in history.
Absolutely. I know this is the first time we've done this game, this particular set of questions, in case you
data privacy,
but we do a similar game during Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So follow us, look for us coming up in October. We usually do 1 public game every month. And then there is a way actually, if you would like us to present to your organization, you can request us to do that as well. All right, so let's see here. Let's go through some of these questions. So we're not giving prizes because we respect your privacy. That's exactly what I was thinking. So thank you for pointing that out. Yes, we can share the recordings from today and yesterday. I will find a link as we go through these. Yes, the sessions will be available for replay. Was it really anonymized or just de-identified? More often, they have a way to re-identify. I think the gist of the question is just, the type of data that's being shared. So like they take your username or your name out of it, and then they share what's left of the data.
And they call it anonymized.
Yeah. Let's see here. Thank you so much for the nice job. And yeah, definitely come up for us for ideas with Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Should you clear your browsing history? Maybe if you care about your privacy and you want to make sure that, cookies aren't reporting on your browsing history, that could be a good idea.
You can also use a privacy browser. And we have an article that outlines why you might want to do that. Let me find it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Review requests drive me crazy. Yep, me too. That would also be CPNI, any call information. I'm not sure what CPNI stands for. Maybe that's what when we're talking about metadata for calls. We have a winky face. Thank you, Regis. That's the winner there. Should have said SMS as I immediately thought of iMessage. Okay. Yeah, RCS is capable, I think, in the right app. What I saw on Google was if it's between two Android devices, then it does encrypt. Let's see here. Number 16 had a problem for somebody. Sorry about that.
Oh, wow.
Good
He
job.
just says,
Yep.
sorry, not sorry.
Uh, significance. No significance by doing 17 questions. We just figured that would take up the right amount of time.
It's actually like when you think about it, it's 15 questions plus a warm up plus a survey. What's the significance there? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So should you rely on loved ones to guide you on privacy or cybersecurity settings? If you trust them and that they know what they're talking about, sure. Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
Better
Uh,
than not doing anything.
the malware will not ask for permissions. That's probably true.
Mhm.
Thanks from Ohio. Go Bucks. Okay.
Yes.
Your
I'm
trivia
from Toledo.
page says automated participant data removal is disabled for this experience. The trivia page. Automated participant data removal. I'm not sure what that means, but we aren't going to do anything with the data from this call. We're just going to, yeah, that's why there is anonymous stuff. Consumer proprietary network information. Ah, yes, thank you. That's right. I remember seeing that when we were looking at those telecom hacks. So, yeah, that's sensitive stuff. All right, you're welcome. Agreed with we should have said SMS since
Hey,
text message is
that's
slightly
tricky.
vague.
We get tricky.
That's
It's a
true.
game.
SMS is kind of an older term for text message, but that's, generally what we're looking at. But you're
Because
right.
you shouldn't assume a text message is encrypted.
Yeah.
So now you remember. Now you remember. The pain helps you remember.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going through some of these. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for being here. Regis might be a bot, but no way for us to say. Is Safari private browsing on iPhone safe? Um, I guess it depends on what you're trying to be safe from. Um, it doesn't save your history and it blocks some cookies, so a little bit more anonymous, but the websites that you're visiting can see what IP address
Yeah.
you're coming from, and it's not
And
it's
your
not completely
IP
anonymous.
knows.
What else do we have?
ISP.
That was fun. Thank you. How dare you? Oh no. Might have been worth leaving the chat open so the commentary could have gone there. Yeah.
All right. We know it for next year.
What happened with the phone number database to unsubscribe from cold calls? I think it's called the National Do Not Call Registry, which you can put your phone number into still, but plenty of scams and not as well-meaning will will
You know,
you know
unlike those well-meaning telemarketers.
yeah, the scam callers will not obey the do not call list. All right, let me find the link that I should share with everyone where you can find all the recordings from this week. Let's see here. So I wish there was a place where we just listed it all at once, but
How each thing is different. Yeah.
that would be too easy. Let's see. View the recording. All right, so I got to do several links, I guess. All right, so the chat, if you guys look at the chat, I will put it here for everyone. So here's the one from Monday.
Here's a question. Do mental health professionals understand this stuff? Well, hopefully they're aware of HIPAA and other laws, and they have to follow those like any other doctor does.
All right, here's actually a link that has all the stuff all in one on one page. So If you just scroll down, you'll see a list of all the recordings for people who are asking for the recordings from the rest of the week. And I think we'll put the game show here. Yeah. So I think yesterday's recording isn't quite up yet, but it should get updated there. You can also follow us on LinkedIn and other social media. We're always posting stuff there. Do mental health professionals understand this stuff? I don't know. Ask them.
That's what I was saying. I mean, they have to follow HIPAA like anyone else, but like any other doctor. But
Right. Yep. Sessions this week have been awesome. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Here's the link to the recordings from the week to that person that was asking. Nice
how
job,
to follow up
Nicola.
on
Thank you.
LinkedIn, the National Cybersecurity Alliance, Stay Safe Online. We're all on LinkedIn. We're on Instagram. We post stories.
We do.
And
I
X,
got
the
that.
everything app.
We don't
And,
personally post them, but somebody from NCA posts them. So let me
but
go
yeah,
ahead.
LinkedIn.
I'll drop a link to our company page here. Let me see if I can find
We
it.
post a lot.
All right, here is the link to our LinkedIn page. I put it in the answer, but I'm also going to put it in the chat. Looks like we are just about out of questions, so that's going to wrap it up for us, I think. So thanks again for joining us. And Barry, nice job writing all those questions.
Great doing this again with you, Cliff. You know, it's been too long.
Absolutely. I know we get really close during October because I think we did like 50 of these game shows or something. So we're talking to each other almost every day. So I'll see you in October, Barry. But
Yep. Yeah.
I'll see you before then.
Yeah. Before then. Yeah.
Thank you everybody for joining us. This was a great show.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Absolutely. All right. Have a great one. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.